Hello, welcome back to crossxpollination. Well, today, our number one of greatest classic rock drummers of all time will be no surprise to most of you. As a matter of fact, there's so much said about this person that I'm going to have a hard time coming up with the reason why I picked John Bonham for our number one. Yes, John Bonham grew up in Worcestershire, England. He started drumming at the age of 5. He was drumming on pots and pans, yada yada, same old story, same old story. Many drummers have grown up with pots and pans, yours truly included. But then he started to play, and he was doing really well playing with bands. He played with a couple of bands around England. Some of them were money bands. He needed a little more income, and so he joined a blues band. When he joined that blues band, word was out from other people who heard his sound and wanted him. He was being sought after by John Cocker, Jimmy Page, who had just left the Yardbirds. Although John did not study formally, he played for hours and hours trying to emulate his idols: Max Roach, Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, Elvin Jones, and Philly Joe Jones. Did you hear that list? Yeah, we'll slow it down a little bit. Max Roach, who is one of the best all-time greatest jazz drummers. Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, both those guys were big band drummers. Elvin Jones, and Philly Joe Jones. Philly Joe Jones was a teacher, a bebop player, and an incredible drummer from Philly who played with many people. This is an incredible list, and most drummers today are not influenced by people like this in the rock world. Most drummers in the rock world are influenced by John Bonham, as well as Keith Moon and many others. John Bonham's influences will continue to go for many decades. He was just so amazing. By the age of 16, John was playing full-time. It took me a few years after that to play full-time. He played in various bands in England. Some of those were well known, not so much so here in the States, but definitely in England. It was when he joined the Crawling King Snakes, that's a mouthful, the Crawling King Snakes, when he wanted a more steady full-time gig, when he met, at the time, Robert Plant, who was a singer in the band. But it was Page who sent about 40 telegrams to the reluctant John Bonham, who eventually decided, yeah, maybe I could give this a go. Who eventually joined the new Yardbirds, which was later on renamed Led Zeppelin. John Bonham, being a great lay-it-down drummer, could also play funk. He could also play Latin influenced rhythms. And he did this as well in Led Zeppelin. You can hear him playing some of these rhythms, A Fool in the Rain. Like I said earlier, it's very hard to find something different that hasn't already been said about John Bonham. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out of all the things I've heard, but one thing I really haven't heard anybody talk about or mention, his drum solo in Moby Dick. Now I'm not going to play the whole drum solo. I really want you to hear it on your own. Put on some headphones, listen to this guy. This is amazing. He starts off in Moby Dick. Basically that's just a regular, 12-bar blues kind of rock song. He starts off the solo right off the bat in 3/time. As soon as that solo starts, he goes right into 3 with the hi-hat. No, who would even do that? Except for John Bonham. So sit back, enjoy. This is just killer stuff. And this is one of the reasons, although there are many others, one of the many reasons why I think John Bonham is the #1 classic rock drummer of all time. And I think he's going to continue to influence and continue to be eternally etched into drummers' minds, up and coming drummers, older drummers, and drummers who've just really enjoyed the golden days of Led Zeppelin.